Hello, this is a brief recap. If you've been in clinic with me and I've given you these 3 hip exercise set, then I've probably told you how many of each of these to do and how long to hold each one for. And if I haven't, shame on me. Please come back to me and ask me. But let me just remind you how to do them. So the first one is a little bit of an oldie, but a goodie. We lie on our side. We engage our core here. If you want to be up here, really feeling that everything is nice and tight, that is fantastic. If that's a little bit too challenging for you, come down and rest your head in your hands like this. And what we're trying to do is keep this upper leg lifted, but with the leg twisted in slightly. So we definitely don't want the toe pointing up towards the ceiling. We want to bring that all the way down, and then if you can, that little bit more. You can suddenly feel a huge amount of engagement of your glutes and your pelvis and your hamstrings, and you can't help but just suck in your tummy that little bit more here. This hand should not be gripping on for dear life down here or pressing into the floor. This hand should be loose. And in my Pilates classes, I ask people to wave at me while they're doing that, or just raise it up into the sky as this leg is leading with the heel and going up. Now you can feel that burn. I've had that leg dangling up in the sky. I can feel that in my hamstrings, all the way down, even into a little bit into my calf, but certainly as my adductors, my groin muscles are paying out, as they're having to lengthen, as they go up there, they're working eccentrically, they're paying out, and that's what counts. That's what gives this muscle, this exercise, its special power. So hold at the top, hang around where it hurts. That's what gives you the magic. Come back down again. So numbers to be determined by your therapist. The second exercise is good old clam shells. Now don't hug yourself in. We're not curling into a fetal position here. We're having a nice open stance here. So you don't want it straight. You want some stability, but you don't want your knees up right up into your chest. And again, feel free to alter the stance position. You can lean here as thinking man, or you can come up and be a little bit more dynamic into this position here, or make this a little bit longer, and therefore instantly I'm having to engage with my abs and my core here, which is really helpful. Again, just adds an extra dimension. We're going to float this knee up towards the ceiling. We're not rocking back, and we're not leaning too far forward so that we feel like this knee is coming forward. We are stacked, so this hip is perpendicular to the ceiling. Then the knee comes up. As soon as you want to rock with your pelvis, that's the end of your available range. Hold there. Hold where it hurts. That first one's going to be like, nah. The second one's going to be, The third or fourth one might be a little bit more challenging. That's when the magic happens. That's when the muscles start to lay down a little bit of extra oomph. The mitochondria, those energy powerhouses in your muscles, start to wake up a little bit. And they say, maybe guys, we need to build a little bit more muscle fibers, a little bit more structure around this. That's what we want. We want those muscles around the hip to be working. So that's exercise number 2. So we have straight leg raise, leading with the heel. We have oyster clams, leading with the top leg, leading with the knee, but making sure that we're not rocking back on our hips, that we're balancing on that bottom hip. And then lastly, we're going to do bridging with a slight difference. We're going to lie on our backs. We're going to find the place, the knee bend, where we can only just lift our heels off the bed. That will be different for each person depending on how flexible you are and how strong you are, but that's really very, very, very important. We don't want to rock back in our heels. This is not a dig your heels into the bed exercise. What we really want to do is we want to engage your core. we want to relax your shoulders. These hands are not pressing into the floor for dear life. We are lifting up. We have space underneath here. We are not wobbling, we are controlling, we're not squeezing our knees in too much. We're just making our core engage, our hamstrings and our quads and our calves, our hamstrings and our calves are working equally. Your quads are not doing too much of the work here. As we come up, it's really a hip extensor exercise, so that these muscles, your glutes are working. These muscles, your hip flexors, are having to stretch and pay out. And knees aren't really doing a heap of change, range of movement wise, but they are extending a little bit. So your quads are having to engage just a touch. And the progress of that one is that if you want to work one side, then lift the other side. So if I want to work my left leg, I'm just going to lift the heel off and keep the toe down, so I come up onto my toe, really, of my right leg. If I want to work my right leg, I come onto the toe of my left leg. So I'm almost trying to do a single leg glute bridge. But for most people, that sends them immediately into cramp. So what we do is we just bring that lifted leg down onto its toe. So we get a little bit of extra effort, but a touch of stability at the same time. Make sure that your bum leaves the floor, that it's got a good length of space here, and that your toes are pressing into the floor at all times. Don't let your big toes come up off the floor. So those are the 3 exercises. I hope you enjoy them. I know they're going to do you a power of good. Follow your instructions if you're